Hello, and welcome back to the English Cast. I'm Ryan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma, and we're so happy to have you with us today.
We know learning a language is a long journey, and we're here to make it fun, simple, and completely natural for you.
How is your day going so far, Ryan? Are you having a busy week?
It's going really well, thank you. I am teaching a lot of classes this week, but I love it. How about you? Did you do anything fun this weekend?
I had a very relaxing weekend. I just read a good book and drank a lot of tea. But today, I am so excited about our topic. We have a fantastic lesson planned for our listeners.
We absolutely do. Today, we are going to talk about collocations. Specifically, 10 English collocations you need to sound more natural.
For those who might not know, a collocation is a group of two or more words that naturally go together in English. Sometimes, English learners use perfect grammar, but they choose the wrong combination of words. This can make them sound a bit robotic or translated.
Exactly. For example, in English, we say fast food, not quick food. Even though fast and quick mean the same thing, fast food is the natural collocation. Learning these word partners will help you sound much more like a native speaker.
And it makes speaking much easier because you remember chunks of words instead of single words. So let's get right into it. We are going to explain each expression clearly and give you lots of simple, everyday examples.
Let's begin. Our first collocation is pay attention to. I will say it one more time. Pay attention to.
This is a very common one. To pay attention to means to look at, listen to, or focus on something carefully. You give your mind to that specific thing.
A great example is in the classroom. As teachers, we say this all the time. If a student is looking out the window, I might say, "Please pay attention to the lesson." It means I want them to focus on what I am teaching.
Another everyday example is when you are driving a car. You cannot look at your phone. You have to pay attention to the road. If you don't focus on the cars around you, it is very dangerous.
That's a perfect example. We also use it in conversations. If your friend is telling you a sad story, you should pay attention to them. You should listen carefully and not look at the television.
So, just to remind you, to pay attention to means to focus your mind and listen or look carefully. Let's move on to our next one. Ryan, what is our second collocation?
Collocation number 2 is catch fire. Let's repeat that. Catch fire.
This means to start burning. Many language learners make the mistake of saying take fire or make fire, but the correct natural phrase is catch fire.
Think about being in the kitchen. If you leave a dry paper towel right next to the hot stove, it might catch fire. It means the paper will suddenly start burning.
Or think about the summer season when it's very hot and dry. Sometimes the trees and dry grass in the forest can catch fire if someone drops a cigarette. We have to be very careful.
Another simple example is camping. When you try to build a campfire, you use small, dry sticks because they catch fire easily.
Exactly. So remember that catch fire means to begin burning. Let's go to the next expression.
Collocation number 3 is a fun one. Keep a secret. Listen again. Keep a secret.
To keep a secret means you know some private information, and you promise not to tell anyone else. You hold the information inside.
For instance, imagine we are planning a surprise birthday party for our friend John. I will tell you the plan, but I will say, "Please keep a secret." If you tell John, the surprise is ruined.
I have a friend who is wonderful, but she just cannot keep a secret. If I tell her something private, She tells her sister the next day. So now, I don't tell her my private news.
It's a very important quality in a good friend. You want a friend who can keep a secret when you share your feelings or problems with them.
So, before we look at the next one, keeping a secret just means you do not share private information. What is number 4, Ryan?
Number 4 is break the law. Let me say it again. Break the law.
This means to do something illegal, something that is against the rules of the country or city.
We use this for big crimes, but we also use it for small, everyday things. For example, if the speed limit on the highway is 100 kilometers per hour and you drive 130 kilometers per hour, you break the law.
That's a great everyday example. Another one is parking. If you park your car right in front of a hospital emergency door, you break the law, and you will get a ticket from the police.
It's very simple to understand. People who steal from stores also break the law. It just means doing an action that the government says is not allowed.
Exactly. So, break the law means to do something illegal. Now, let's look at the next phrase.
Collocation number 5 is take control of. One more time. Take control of.
To take control of means to become the leader or the boss of a situation. It means you start managing things, especially when things are messy or disorganized.
Think about a group project at school or university. There are 4 students and nobody knows what to do. Everyone is confused. Finally, one student stands up and says, "I will take control of this project. I will give everyone a task."
That happens all the time. Or think about a difficult situation at work. If a customer is very angry and the new worker doesn't know what to do, the manager will step in and take control of the conversation to fix the problem.
Even in an emergency, like if someone falls down in the street, a doctor might walk by and take control of the situation by telling people to step back and calling an ambulance.
That's a perfect image. So, to take control of means you step up to manage and lead a situation. Let's move to number 6.
Number 6 is something children do very well. Make a mess. Let's hear it again. Make a mess.
To make a mess means to make a place dirty, untidy, or completely disorganized.
If you have a toddler, you know this phrase perfectly. A 2-year-old child eating a bowl of spaghetti will definitely make a mess. There will be tomato sauce on the table, on the floor, and in their hair.
I love baking cakes, but I always make a mess in the kitchen. I drop flour on the floor, and I leave dirty bowls everywhere. It takes me an hour to clean it up.
You can also make a mess in your bedroom. If you try on 10 different outfits before a party and leave all the clothes on the bed and the floor, you make a mess.
So, before we jump to the next one, remember that make a mess means to create a dirty or disorganized space. What is collocation number 7?
Number 7 is do damage. I will repeat that. Do damage.
This means to cause harm or ruin something. A lot of learners say make damage, but that's incorrect. The natural English verb here is do. You do damage.
We often use this when talking about weather. A really strong winter storm with heavy snow and wind can do damage to the roofs of houses or break big trees.
We also use it for our health. If you eat a lot of fast food and sugar every single day, it will do damage to your body over time.
Or think about washing your clothes. If you wash a beautiful, delicate wool sweater in very hot water, the hot water will do damage to the fabric, and it will shrink.
That's so true. I have ruined a sweater that way. So, to do damage means to harm or break something. Let's check out number 8.
Collocation number 8 is draw attention to. Listen closely. Draw attention to.
To draw attention to means to make people look at something or notice something specifically.
Imagine you are in a meeting and you are showing a graph on a screen. You might use a red laser pointer to draw attention to the most important numbers. You are guiding people's eyes to that spot.
In everyday life, clothing is a good example. If you wear a bright neon yellow hat in a crowd of people wearing black, you will draw attention to yourself. Everyone will look at you.
Or if you are reading an essay and you see a big spelling mistake, you might circle it with a red pen to draw attention to the error so the student can fix it.
Exactly. It means to make someone notice a specific thing. We have 2 more left. Ryan, what is number 9?
Number 9 is a great professional phrase. Have an impact on. I will say it again. Have an impact on.
To have an impact on means to have a strong effect or influence on someone or something.
Teachers are a beautiful example of this. A really kind and patient teacher can have an impact on a child's entire life. They can make the student love learning forever.
Another example is our habits. Sleeping for 8 hours every night will have a huge impact on your energy levels and your mood during the day. It changes how you feel completely.
We also talk about technology. The invention of the smartphone has had a massive impact on how humans communicate with each other globally.
That's a huge effect, yes. So, to have an impact on means to strongly affect or change something. And now we are at our final collocation for today.
Our last expression, number 10, is meet the requirements. Let's hear it one more time. Meet the requirements.
To meet the requirements means you have the necessary skills, qualities, or documents that are needed for a specific situation.
We use this a lot for jobs. If a company wants to hire a manager, they might say you need 5 years of experience and a university degree. If you only have 1 year of experience, you don't meet the requirements. They won't hire you.
University applications are similar. If a college says you need a certain score on your English test to enter, you must get that score to meet the requirements for admission.
Here's a fun example. Think about an amusement park. To ride the big, fast roller coaster, a child must be at least 120 centimeters tall. If they are shorter than that, they don't meet the height requirements and they can't go on the ride.
That's a perfect everyday example. So, to meet the requirements means to have exactly what is necessary. And those are our 10 English collocations to help you sound much more natural.
These phrases are so useful. If you start using them in your daily conversations, people will definitely notice how fluent you sound.
Now, before we finish the episode, we want to practice these together. We're going to do a shadowing practice. Shadowing is an amazing technique where you listen and then repeat exactly what you hear. It helps train your mouth to pronounce these chunks of words naturally.
We will practice 4 sentences using the collocations from today. Emma will read the sentence slowly. Pause for a moment, read it again, and then pause longer so you can repeat it out loud wherever you are. Ready? Let's start the practice.
I always pay attention to the teacher. I always pay attention to the teacher.
Please do not make a mess in the kitchen. Please do not make a mess in the kitchen.
Can you keep a secret about the party? Can you keep a secret about the party?
He does not meet the requirements for this job. He does not meet the requirements for this job. All right, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We hope this conversation helped make English feel clearer and more natural for you today.
Before we go, we want to hear from you. Which of these 10 collocations is your favorite to use? Let us know your answer in the comments below. We read all of them.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe to the English Cast.
Thanks for investing your time with us. Keep learning, keep speaking, and we will see you next time.